Hello, fellas and ladies. We're back again. More TIFF, more TIFF, more TIFF, more TIFF. We're never going to stop with the TIFF. I'm going to be 30 and doing TIFF. If you don't want to wait any longer, every single movie I've seen is reviewed on Bite Size Breakdown. All 50 movies I've seen. I'm not doing 50 reviews for the channel, but if you want to see all 50 reviews on Bite Size Breakdown, it's there. Go! The next movie we're going to be reviewing is Night Bitch, the newest film directed and written by Marielle Heller. If you're a subscriber for me, you probably know her as the director of Can You Forgive Me and the director of A Beautiful Neighborhood, but this one she wrote and directed. And it stars Amy Adams as a struggling stay-at-home mom who's just constantly pecked in with the stress of having to raise a newborn basically on her own. And now she's kind of thinking she might be turning into a canine dog. I'm sure this is maybe not entirely true, but I would say this is probably the most divisive film out of the festival. Like, I know people who loved it. I know people who really didn't like it. I definitely don't know people who hate it. That's something. I know I didn't watch the trailer before I saw the movie because the trailer came out a few days before I was scheduled to see it, so I was just like, alright, I'll wait a little bit. After seeing the trailer, I can tell you right now, it is obscenely misguided. It made it look like a goofy comedy. It's not really what this is, at least not in tone. And long story short, I lie in the middle of Night Bitch, leaning ever so slightly towards the negative. But I will say, no matter where you stand on Night Bitch, it is hard to deny that Amy Adams is pretty fantastic. This is not my favorite performance of hers, but that's a high bar. But nothing about her performance felt forced. She's clearly committed to the surrealism of the plot, but I think when Amy Adams shines the most was watching her inner turmoil just kick in. She's clearly stressed, she's clearly depressed, she's clearly unhappy, and Amy Adams just gives such a grounded version of that. And even when she goes full crazy, you believe it because of her. I don't think the movie, like, if you're expecting a full-blown, just wacky, insane movie, this isn't really that. This movie can get gross, like, in moments, and I'd say that complimentary. There's weird, I want to say body horror kind of things going on in this movie that I just went, oh, I didn't need to see that. But obviously, like, I say that as a compliment to Marielle Heller. Quite frankly, this movie is at its best when it grounds itself. I think that is what Marielle Heller's strength as a director is. It's more humanistic, like, very emotionally grounded aspects of humanity. And then this movie just sticks to domestic, basically, talking points. The movie works at its best. Quick shout out to Scoot McNairy, who's also really good in this movie, but whenever Amy Adams and Scoot McNairy are just talking, it feels really real. This movie is very clearly about motherhood, about how hard it is, about what it can do to a woman, about how, you know, it's not fair to put the strength of a human being on top of one person. I've seen some say that the message of the movie is very much just, oh, being a mother is hard. And that's not the message. I do think that's a little oversimplified. I'm not a parent. I can't tell you how accurate this movie is. I want to hear more from actual women and parents about what they thought about this movie. This movie is very clearly for them. But I have to, unfortunately, approach this from a non-parent and say I did feel that this movie did give me a good idea of what parenthood is in all its messiness and its beauty. If you want to dumb it down to it's just motherhood hard, then you can, but I do think that kind of misses the point a little bit. That said, I do think I like this movie a lot more when it is just simply on the ground. It's not doing anything wacky, which the movie doesn't always do, which I do admire about it, but when it does go into the dog stuff, that's the weakest link of the film. I don't think the allegory worked. I don't think the absurdism worked, which isn't a surprise because, quite frankly, I don't want to be mean, but Marielle Heller is not very good at surrealism. I liked A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood a lot, but I speak for a lot of people when I say the weakest element was that dream sequence. I just don't think Marielle Heller is good at doing absurdism, and she is really good at humanistic drama, which, again, is when this movie shines. When the movie goes to the weird, it's very unrealized. A lot of the dog transformation thing is just Amy Adams being goofy, and it feels more played for laughs than to drive a point home. A lot of the jokes kind of miss. There's also this thing with, like, her friends from, like, this mommy daycare thing. I think stuff like that is when the movie kind of falls flat with its surrealism. Because there's implications that the movie presents that never fully, like, manifests. And on top of that, like, it makes it kind of feel like this experience is very, like, unique to Amy Adams' character. Like, so much so that, like, whenever she's acting weird or, like, saying shit about how hard motherhood is, a lot of times, even the moms in the movie, like, I get other, like, pedestrians, non-mothers, but even the moms in the movie are just kind of looking at her like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? is she okay? And I kind of feel like stuff like that loses the plot a little bit. I admire what Marielle Heller was doing, but I also don't think it's ambitious enough to respect any swings. Again, a lot of the dog stuff is mostly played for laughs, and I think even when it does explain the metaphor, it just kind of makes you go, is that what it is, though? I do think this movie's worthwhile. Like I said, there is clearly something to its message that is worth watching, but I just think a lot of this movie should have been a grounded domestic drama. That I think Marielle Heller should have just done a domestic drama. I think that was when the movie got its point across the best. The dog stuff only really works when Amy Adams is just really committed. If Night Bitch wanted to be a surrealist comedy about motherhood, I kind of wish Marielle Heller fleshed out those ideas more when she's clearly better at displaying the message during the slower moments. While Amy Adams is excellent as a fan of Marielle Heller's work, I was mostly disappointed, even if there were elements I liked. And I'm going to have to give Night Bitch 5.5 Amy Adams out of 10. I'm just going on a limb here and saying you all know this, but this is, in terms of Oscars, it's Amy Adams or bust. Whether or not she'll actually get the nomination is a little up in the air because, okay, she's going to get the Globe because of the split. She's going to be in comedy. And SAG could go for her. They do like Amy Adams quite a bit. They nominated for fucking stupid-ass Hillbilly Elegy. I do wonder how people in the industry will take this, how, men mostly will take this, and I imagine not great. Not that the movie antagonizes men, but, there could be some idiots. Actually, Critics' Choice might also go for Amy Adams. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, I'm now realizing I might be predicting Amy Adams for 3 out of the 4 major precursors. Yeah, I should probably predict it, shouldn't I? Some people have floated the win for her. I don't see it. I know people are gonna try and say, well, what about Jessica Chastain? What about Julianne Moore? To that I would say that I know she's overdue, but I don't think that enough people are gonna be like, oh my god, no, my favorite performance of the year was Amy Adams in Night Bitch. I don't think enough people are gonna say that. And especially with, stronger players, clearly stronger players, I'm just going to go on a limb and say, well, a nomination is very, very on the table. I, at the moment, would maybe dismiss a win. Am I open to being wrong? A little bit, but I don't think I am. Alright, that is it. Like, subscribe, and share. And, look, can I just, really quickly, as someone who is a big fan of when they say the name of the movie in the movie, gotta say, between this, The Room Next Door and The Wild Robot, I say we dial it back until we figure this shit out, because oh my god.